Listen, I know the title is about to come off as blasphemy, but just trust, let me cook. People play WuWa for a plethora of reasons. Some really like the characters, some like the story, some like the art style. But I think it's safe to say that the majority of players who play WuWa play for one reason. The combat is pretty fucking cool. But you see, there's a bit of an issue. There's nothing to do with the combat. Whether you like it or not, WuWa rides and dies on its combat, which is not a bad thing. No matter what anyone says, just kidding, they had some solid points and some really bad takes, but whatever. I had a whole script for it, but I decided I didn't care anymore, so 100 likes if you want to see that, I guess. No matter what anyone says, the combat is WuWa's lifeblood. It's bread and butter. Its main attraction, the thing that keeps you coming back. But it really feels like Kuro just doesn't know how to utilize it in their events, or just flat out doesn't utilize it at all, i.e. this fuck-ass photo event. I'm sorry, I get that people like events where
I just log in and dig my ass for a minute and a half and get rewards.
But I think a video game should still have some video game in it, which WuWa has been struggling to do for the last 2 patches. And when we do have a combat event, it's usually clearable in like 10 minutes, but masqueraded by the fact that it's time gated. Like seriously, the last time we had a genuinely engaging combat event was what? Virtual Crisis? Banner Never Fall? Even that one has its own set of issues, but we'll get into that later. What I want to talk a little bit about is what actually makes an engaging event. We all know events are another source of income. Another way to get those sweet, juicy little Primo, Stellar Jade, Asterite, Encrypted Tapes, Dragonstone, Originite, Prime, Parrots. Jesus Christ, I hate gacha games. But I think what makes an actually engaging event and engaging content is an event that makes you want to play it regardless of the reward and meshes with the already established gameplay. I think a great example of this currently is Honkai Star Rail's Currency War. I love TFT. It's very strangely addicting. And Currency War, it's literally just that. They don't even really try to hide it. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because the game mode is not only fun, but they've also melded it into the traditional HSR combat relatively well. Does the event have its problems? Of course! Once you get to the higher levels, if you're not running Durian Finon or Wheelchair Agalea, you might as well be throwing. But the baseline is, when I played this event, the rewards were an afterthought. Of course, that's subjective. I know not everyone fucks with TFT, but the fact that the HSR combat is melded into it gives it something for even players that aren't into TFT to look forward to. The last time I genuinely had this feeling in WuWa was Virtual Crisis. It was simple and didn't really change the base mechanics of the combat, but fighting against those supercharged enemies gave me a thrill that no other WuWa event has ever given. But of course, asking every event to be a combat-centric event is just not the reality we live in. Gacha games by nature are designed to be played in dosages, and events are typically meant to be seasonal minigames. But even in the minigame sense, Kuro seems to struggle a little bit. 2.5 had a management minigame, which was something, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really jive with it and didn't find it too remarkable. Title Defense Simulator took until the last couple of stages to really introduce some depth to it. But by that point, you've already played it so much and for so long that you just don't care anymore. And listen, I tried to go for the full 100 stages. But at like level 70, I realized I didn't care about the fuck-ass title and I alt F4'd. Then we get those stupid-ass flying events, where you enter a level, go jack off to your WuWa waifu of choosing, and if you choose any of these, you're getting reported, and then you'll come back and the event has completed itself. Dreaming Deep is, I'm not even gonna bother. It's kind of funny because I really think they thought this event was gonna pop off and had more stages planned for it, but we all know how that played out. And the list goes on and on. The point is, I feel like even the casual events are a little too casual. And that's not exclusive to Kuro. A lot of gachas tend to rely on little arcade minigames to be the basis of their events. But there's something I've noticed that Hoyo does that makes their little minigames a little more palatable. And something that Kuro should really look into. And that is, they add multiplayer. It's literally so simple. It's so fucking simple. They take an event and they say, this is kind of lame when you're doing it by yourself. Okay, boom, you can play with your friends. And yeah, you're laughing, or probably typing up a storm about how that doesn't really matter, but I need you to listen in real close. The last 2 years have been the golden age for what we call now friend slop games. From Lethal Company, to Content Warning, to Repo, to RV There Yet. People love this shit, and will play these games for hours. Do they run their course? Of course, but I know you had a month-long period or you spammed any one of these friend slop games. It's not even like those games have that much content. In fact, you can argue they don't even have 2 hours of content. So where's the replayability coming from? It's gonna sound kind of cringe, but it's quite literally the power of friendship. Just take me out back. A game can barely have any content, a repetitive gameplay style, but if you play it with your friends, give it 20 minutes and you'll probably come out with an iconic moment that'll make you want to play for another 20 minutes, and another 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. You can give us the most nothing burger of a game of all time, but let me hop on it with my boys and I promise you we can make something out of nothing. And Hoyo, I think, understands that. I'm assuming because they literally had a whole arc dedicated to the power of friendship. Hoyo shells, don't come at me. This is the most cog bouncing I'll ever do for your game. I'm not a Genshin player, but I have friends that still play Genshin. And when a new fun multiplayer event is on, they'll typically stream it in call, and I can visually see and audibly hear how much fun they're having. This dumbass Hungry Hippo knockoff, I was listening to them losing their mind because they queue up in a lobby and bully the absolute shit out of some random kid. And that brings a different kind of joy to my heart. Remember HSR's Candy Crush game mode in Penacony? It's based off of a single player game, but they said fuck it and added a PvP mode to it, and just off of that, increased its playability. Even ZZZ's Bang Boo TFT was multiplayer, and I heard that event had great reception. ZZZ even had a Fall Guys event, and I don't know about you, but this looks like a content farm for friends. Even Hide and Seek, a literal children's game, was made enjoyable because of the co-op in Genshin. And what's even worse, Kuro's literally done multiplayer prop hunt in fucking PGR, so what the fuck? The point I'm trying to get across is that co-op and multiplayer is such an easy and simple way to pad out relatively mid content. And it doesn't even have to relate to the actual main gameplay. While these modes are far from perfect, the Teapot housing system and the Malastra, don't laugh, you're a dickhead, at the very least offer the player to make their own content. Unless you're a console player. Tough shit, buddy. Hoyo understands that this is literally a free content machine for them. It's like giving a chew toy to a barking dog. They'll make their own fun of it. And honestly, of all the manipulation tactics that Gacha uses on us, this is the one that I'll somewhat accept. Because at the end of the day, you're going to form these great fun memories with your friends and just associate it with the game you're playing. It's free content and free press. Remember that fucking racing event in WuWa? It was so simple, but it even had Gotcha Smack literally hollering because of the shenanigans you could do with other people. And that's Unk right there, dog. You know he ain't gonna smile just for the fuck of it. So Kuro, this is my fucking plea. I'm on my hands and knees, legs against the wall, twerking for you, Solon. Just let us do shit with our friends. Remember Banner Never Fall? First of all, why wasn't it replayable? Second of all, why didn't you add a race mode? Literally queue up 4 players and then you go through the map, and if you really want a gold star, randomize the map and enemy locations and see who could clear it faster. Remember the co-op tower defense and boss fight events? Why haven't y'all brought that back even once? Why didn't the roguelike Vampire Survivor game mode have a multiplayer option? Just make it either co-op or a PvP mode where you have to outlast the other player. Give Virtual Crisis a co-op mode. Give it a PvP mode. Give it a leaderboard. And before someone goes, hey, they're balancing wheels, boom, make it so that you can only use 3 sequences on a character. I'd say none, but I know someone's gonna say,
but what about all the money that I spend out of my own volition? That's not fair to me.
Man, even the photo event, bruh. Make it like Pokemon competitions, give it a multiplayer function, and have people compete with each other to make the sauciest picture. Matter of fact, how about this? Fuck the events, how about we fix co-op in general? Yeah? It's big 2025. And you're telling me the chat will lag like I'm on AIM Messenger if I message too much? Why is the only thing I can do in co-op is farm echoes? Like we seriously couldn't add anything else to co-op to make it more enticing? At this point, it's literally wasted storage on my computer. Give us multiplayer hologram fights. Give us some juiced up elite enemies in co-op that give some decent rewards. And I know we're all thinking Echo EXP, but let's be real, they probably removed Gacha from the game before they fixed their Echo experience. Like, Kuro, please. Yeah, farmed your parasocials and antisocials enough. You got your Chisa money. Let's lock back in and make a game that's worth playing without a wall of text that tells me to go to another castle for rover lore. Which, by the way, doesn't even use the fucking combat system enough because they make it so piss easy that a fucking ficus could probably clear the story. But whatever, content drought is a typical problem in gacha games. I won't deny it. Every gacha game is a victim of that. But man, Kuro, just throw us a bone. I promise you, we are degenerate enough to create our own entertaining content for hours, and you will literally lose nothing from this. But also making some actually fun events would be kind of cool too. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that co-op needs a full rework? Do you think the events need to be thrown back to the drawing board? Or do you just not care at all and are okay with the idea of a game having only its main patch content, then not having anything to do even if you want to play the game? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and that noti bell, and make sure to follow me on Twitch. And I just made a new TikTok, so when that up, pretty please, princess. Other than that, I'll see you later. Peace.